Private, public, and hybrid cloud models, best practices for cloud adoption in educational institutions, tools and strategies for seamless cloud migration, some case studies of educational institutions that have successfully migrated to the cloud, challenges and considerations, while layer 3, a brief run-through of layer 3 cloud services, and questions and answers. So, when we are talking about cloud computing, there's a lot that's evolved over the years. We've moved from people having servers on premise, we've moved to co-location, where people probably, instead of having those servers on premise, they tend to host in third-party data centers. Then we move to cloud, where people can decide to probably host their servers in the cloud, where we have like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service. But generally, what cloud computing refers to is an on-demand delivery of various IT services and resources over the internet, including data storage, servers, databases, networking, and software. These resources are hosted by various cloud solutions providers. We have the AWS, they are the hyperscalers, we have the Microsoft Azure, we have the Google Cloud Platform. Then we have layer 3 cloud. We are a mini form of the hyperscalers in Nigeria in remote data centers, where business can access these resources via the internet, paying only for what they use. Okay, so key components of cloud deployments. There is infrastructure as a service, there is platform as a service, there is software as a service. These are solutions that we provide to clients in layer 3. And infrastructure as a service is just basically providing virtualized servers to clients, while we handle the hardware part, the server, the storage, networking. You can come in, we give you the virtual servers in the cloud, and you host your applications over the internet. We give you your credentials, you log in, and from anywhere in the world, you can connect to your server and host your applications. That is basically at the VM level. There is platform as a service. It's also one of our services that we sell to people. It basically offers you like a platform with development tools. You want to host applications, you want to develop applications, something that is without involving yourself with the underlying infrastructure for building and deploying and managing apps. We have that one as well, where you can decide that you want to manage applications. You are looking at like database as a service, serverless, Kubernetes, and the rest, because things keep on evolving. So we've moved from the virtual server. People are now looking at how can they develop applications, host many applications, having many servers within just one container, where you have your pods. You are talking about Kubernetes, where you have like an orchestration layer that can be helping you to deploy applications, restart your applications, reschedule, and the rest. That's platform as a service. Then there is software as a service, where the likes of Office 365 and the rest, ERP applications can be hosted in the cloud, where with like a software. So deliver software applications over the internet on a subscription basis. And the other components as well, like backup as a service, database as a service, bare metal as a service, and co-location. So basically it depends on what you are looking at as an educational institution. Are you looking at infrastructure as a service? Are you looking at platform as a service, or software as a service, even co-location, or even backup, or even bare metal as a service? We can have those conversations with you and help you grow your applications, help you grow your infrastructure, and help you in your journey into cloud adoption. So, cloud deployment models. There are basically 3 cloud deployment models. And there's public cloud, which I think I'm here to talk about. There's private cloud, and there's hybrid cloud. We are layer 3, we are a public cloud provider. This is the most common model, where resources are shared among multiple people. We are layer 3, we have more than 100 clients, different VMs. Some have like 5 VMs, 10 VMs that we host in the cloud. So this is the most common. where resources are shared among multiple users. It offers scalability. It is cost effective because you're only paying for what you are using, and ease of access. Once we give you your credentials, you can log in from any part of the world, anywhere in the world or any system. You log in, you host your applications, you host your servers, and you do what you want to do. What are the key concepts of public cloud? Multi-tenancy, scalability, and on-demand self-service. What are the key benefits?
Just hold on for about 2 minutes. Stop power. Electricity.
Yes, we can provide that as well.
Power service.
Okay, so I've said before, there are different cloud deployment models. There is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So it depends on your use case as an educational institution. What are your plans? What are your goals for moving to the cloud? It depends on what you want. But we at layer 3, do you want public cloud, where the key concept is we have a couple of servers, lots of servers are using to host our applications in the cloud. We can come in, we can give you a room, let me say like a room, a room in a bigger room. We give you like a tenant, whereby there are many tenants that are sharing those resources. We can give you an allocation based on what you want. Do you want like 10 vCPUs, 100 gig memory, 100 gig storage, whatever it is that is enough for you to host your applications in the cloud, your educational applications, whatever it is you want to do, we give it to you, and you are only paying from time to time. You are paying for a month based on your consumption. It is cost effective, increased agility. You can spin up servers in a couple of minutes. You know, like when you have your servers in the office and you come on Monday morning, the servers are bad. What are you going to do? But within minutes, you can spin up your servers, spin up your VMs, and you can do what you want to do. It's reliable and it's easily accessible. Now, private cloud is a little bit different from public cloud. We are looking at if you want to have full control over your resources, you want to have better security, you want to be the only one that is managing your resources. That is what private cloud is about. It's dedicated resources for a single organization. You can have it in your data center in your office. You can host it in third-party data centers where you purchase a couple of racks, you bring your servers, and you deploy your applications in that private cloud. It's managed remotely. It can be in your data center, and it can be in third-party data centers where you manage. It basically gives you greater control and security over whatever it is that you want to do. Key concepts: it's dedicated cloud environment. It can be hosted on-premise or in a third-party data center, and it offers greater control, security, and performance than public cloud. Because public cloud, you are sharing resources among a lot of customers. But private cloud is owned by you alone. You have everything you want to do. You can write policies, security policies in place. But it's unlike public cloud, where a lot of customers are managing the resources. And what are the key benefits? Enhanced security, compliance, performance, reliability, customization, control, and efficiency. We at layer 3, as much as we sell public cloud, we've built private clouds for a lot of companies from different sectors, public sector, financial sector, all of them. We build private cloud for many clients like hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is a combination of public cloud and private cloud, where you have some resources in your on-premise data center and you have some hosted in the cloud. Most times, this could be basically for disaster recovery, where you want to make sure that if there were to be an issue in your on-premise, how can you fail over and move back? How can you fail over and move quickly and just help as regards your RP and RTU. So hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private cloud, allowing businesses to leverage the flexibility of the public cloud while maintaining control over sensitive data in the private cloud. So we at Layer 3, we can help you do things like that. Look at how can we run like a dark fiber or internet connectivity from our own cloud data center onto your own on-premise, whereby you have a dedicated connection, a layer 2 connection where everything you are doing is not from the internet and it's basically like more secure. So the key concept is basically integration of public and private cloud, workload portability, unified management, and benefits. It's more flexible, cost optimization, security, and control as well. So comparison between private, public, and hybrid cloud. Again, I've said before, private cloud, single organization, public cloud, cloud service provider, and hybrid cloud is shared between both of them, organization and a provider. Cost, private cloud could be higher initially because you are purchasing bare metal servers, you are purchasing firewalls, you are purchasing routers, you are purchasing a lot of things. And if you are basically paying to that data center, you are paying a lot as regards CapEx. But on the long term, it could benefit you, but it depends on your use case. How much do you have to invest? That will now determine the kind of conversation we'll have with you. Public cloud, low upfront, is OPEX based. You have control over the amount you are paying per month, every 3 months, every 6 months. You know what you are paying. Nothing will come from it and so it saves cost for public cloud. And hybrid cloud is moderate. Scalability, limited to internal resources. For private cloud, public cloud, virtually unlimited, hybrid. So this is just a summary of differences between private, public, and hybrid cloud. Again, if I'm talking about security, private cloud gives you the highest form of security that you need. Public cloud depends on a lot of factors. Compliance, talking about compliance, having your data residency, having everything in country, you can look at private cloud. And use cases. What do you want to host in a private cloud as an educational institution? Your research data, admin records, those are things you can host in your private cloud. Public cloud, LMS, email, productivity tools, those are things you can host in a public cloud. And hybrid cloud, you can blend a lot of them. So like I said, hybrid cloud can be for your backups, disaster recovery. In case your on-premise goes down, you can easily fail over to the hybrid cloud, which is a third-party provider. So what are best practices for cloud adoption in educational institutions? This is very important because what works for one institution will not work for another one. First of all, you need to identify your migration goals. Why do you want to move to the cloud? Don't just say because everybody is moving to the cloud, you also want to move. Why do you want to move to the cloud? 2, your goals can help you set up your migration objectives. You need to know why you want to do it, so that you can have like a use case. At the end of the day, am I getting 9 over 10? Am I getting 10 over 10? Because of my goals. And once you can highlight those goals, you prioritize your tasks. Also, documenting your goals up front can help you assess the success of your migration efforts. Now, like I said, what are your goals? Once you identify those goals, you would like to have those conversations. Are you looking at just to reduce operational cost? Because with public cloud, it's basically pay as you go. You don't just pay for it, it's pay as you go based on what you use. Is it to improve workload scalability without investing in hardware? Those are differences between public and private cloud. Is it establishing better disaster recovery capabilities? That involves hybrid cloud, because if your primary site were to go down, how do you fail over to the other side? So these are use cases, these are reasons, these are goals you have to look at. Why do you want to come into cloud adoption as regards an educational institution? Again, is it just to make workloads highly available? When I'm talking about public cloud, it's always available. You can scale up from time to time, you can scale down, you can deploy applications, and when you don't need again, you remove them as soon as possible. Again, improve agility, spin up new workloads on as a needed basis, and easily decommission them. You can't go and purchase bare metal servers and say, I don't need it again. The money is gone. But if you are looking at public cloud, you pay the money, you deploy for 2-3 months, and when you don't use it again, you do commission and you don't need to pay anything again. Now, there are different phases of cloud migration. once you've identified your goals, once you've known the reason why you want to move to the cloud, you now have to look at the different phases, the several tasks that are needed to be performed for every workload that is being migrated. Number one, you need to ensure that your IT staff, they have necessary training. They must know what they are doing. They must know why they are moving to the cloud. They must know that there are structural changes that will happen from their on-premise applications, from the things they are used to, things will change. You need to define security and access requirements. Because moving to the cloud, if you don't define your access requirements, security requirements, anybody can just go there and they will just wipe your data up. You need to define the workload performance and benchmark what will be the metrics for you migrating to the cloud. You need to determine the availability windows and not figure out the best to migrate your application data. Now, what are mistakes that people make because of their hearing the in thing is cloud adoption, this migrating because of trends, not considering cloud latency. Bandwidth is very, very important. There are lots of conversation about bandwidth yesterday about being expensive. You need to be careful because of cloud latency and the impact of internet bandwidth, you need to be sure of what you are doing. Depending on a single ISP. In nowadays, a big company, even in school, should basically have 2 ISPs, automatic failover, or even primary and secondary. So if a primary connection goes down, you don't come and say maybe it's the cloud that is a problem. Probably it's your ISP that is problem. You need more than one ISP. Not performing a pilot deployment test to ensure usability. If you just migrate once, your end users will not even know what they are doing, and they just think this is not working. And also not performing a feature by feature comparison. So you need to understand your use case. What do you really want to do? Why are you moving to the cloud? These are things you need to look at. And these are conversations that we earlier can be to help you in your cloud adoption journey. You also need to consider infrastructure and logical considerations. How much bandwidth do you currently have? We're talking about STM1 yesterday. How much bandwidth do you have? And how much of it is currently in use? How much data needs to be migrated? What formats of the VMs are you currently using? Those formats of the VM, do they need to be changed? Do they need to be tweaked? Those are things to talk about migration tools. Can the formats be changed? What tools do you have at your disposal? So these are considerations you need to look at. These are things you need to consider before saying you want to move to the cloud. Like I said, we are open to having such conversations with you. Tools and strategies for seamless cloud migration, there are lots of them. There are lots of them that you need to consider. But these are just few that we can look at. First one is lift and shift, just rehost. This is just basically at the VM level. You just take the workload that is running on the server, on the on-premise, and just migrate the VM and take it to the cloud. It is basically done at the VM level. This is the simplest of all types of migration that you can. -1. Okay, second one is refactor, which is basically rebuilding the application. There are certain applications you have in your on-premise that cannot run in the cloud. Is it like C++ or different ones? You can basically refactor them, tweak the code. Maybe now from C++ you now move to like Java or the rest. These are things you need to look at. Is it replatforming, where you have to make architectural changes? You have your database, you are moving from your MySQL database to database as a service. Or basically replace, right? Move like from your normal Microsoft Exchange server, you replace them in Microsoft Office 365. So these are tools you need to look at, and these are basically different things. So tools for cloud migration. This is what we basically use as a cloud provider. Cloud-based Coriolis. Basically use it for use it to migrate a lot of clients from different dependencies, from different VMs, different servers, to migrate them to the cloud for DRAS, disaster recovery. There is AWS, Azure, there is Google Cloud migrate. So additional considerations. So it is basically rare to use just one migration strategy. But one thing you must not do is the fact that instead of starting with the first lift and shift, you want to move and now start doing refactoring. That will be a problem. Each workload has its own dependencies. First of all, start with the VM level. Once you've done that lift and shift, you can now move to probably refactoring or rehosting. And it is okay to do nothing. It's not a must for you to move to the cloud. Not all workloads are well suited for the cloud. Some workloads can save you a lot of money when you move to the cloud, and some cases it won't. The following applications should stay on-premise. Latency-sensitive applications, applications that require large amounts of bandwidth and applications that are tied to your most sensitive data. Those are applications that should basically remain on-premise. And your non-sensitive data are the ones you should look at. Things to think about: how many you need to migrate? Can the migration process be reliably automated? And how old are the VMs? Firstly, this is one case study. For Fusion, this is an educational institution where world-class specialized university, we've helped them in their cloud adoption journey. They migrated to layer 3, where we hosted their application on virtual server in the cloud. The other one is also University of Just, where yes, we've also helped them in their cloud adoption journey. We've hosted their applications for them on our virtual server in the cloud. And benefits of cloud adoption, which we can help you, is about scalability, performance, reliability, security, of course, flexible payments. You don't always need to pay in dollars, you can pay in naira and save as and not efficiency.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, let me just finish. So, why?
Don't worry.
Okay, so I'm available for questions since you don't.
Please, a round of applause for today. Thank you very much. Please just step down briefly. Honestly, no, have a seat, please. Have your seat. One of the challenges that we've been having is how to stop our presenters. You know, because each of their presentation is so important. I mean, we can't underrate the importance of cloud hosting to our institutions. We will still talk with you, sir, because you will still need to perhaps do another